Um, Currently, I'm overhearing a conversation between my mom and my brother over some unfortunate news. Due to the nature of the conversation, I'm not going to share too much um, information. Only thing I'm going to say is that I have a family member that's currently on life support, and I'm just hoping that she makes it through. Um, I remember last Thanksgiving, I um, I had, I have an aunt. We're not related um, biologically, but nonetheless, she's like been part of the family since before I was born, and she always felt like an aunt to me. And like sometimes, like when you see people, you never know it's the last time you see them. Um, just going back to the case in November, not talking about the issue now, but I had no idea that um, she had to go to the hospital for anything. But what happened in that particular case, things didn't go as smoothly as the doctors hoped. And next thing I knew, my mom told me that, a family member passed away, and I was at a funeral, just sort of like dumbfounded, just something that I wasn't expecting. And I've actually been fortunate where, like, when it comes to loss, um, like as this may sound like a little screwed up, I know I always wear this bracelet, but like maybe like this was 2004. I remember like I had a dog. I remember I was in third grade. He woke me up one morning, and I had him from like third grade. That was like going back to '93, all the way up until my junior year in college, which was 2004. And when he passed away, there was like sort of like childhood, and I cried alligator tears as I put him in a cage, and so did my dad. And yeah, I took that loss kind of hard, and there's been like tragedies in the family since, um, and I mean, people I know about dying. And there was even a case of like, I'm not going to talk about. I will say that the reason why I wanted to write a book for my grandmother was because there was, apparently it may have been suicide. It can't be proven. I wasn't there. All I knew was that like no mother should like live to see the death of two sons. And I'm not related to her biologically, but from I guess from one death more so than the other, and the nature, I was able to relate more to it, and I could have definitely like I asked myself like what I can do, and she gave me her blessing as far as to write a book. And I remember I was at Shanksville earlier this month, and I told something to a reporter, and um, basically the following day I heard about it. And long story short, I thought twice about writing about the family, because like there's some like issues that are sensitive, and sometimes like even with that particular issue, um, like two family members took it one way as far as like the way they perceived it. I was gonna go on about something I was gonna say. I'm not gonna say what and repeat that same mistake. And like I repeated what happened the following day to my mom, like she already knew what happened, and they took it uh, totally took it in a totally different way. And I almost like second guess like should I even have told her in the first place. But I was able to speak to my aunt 1 or 2 days later, and things sort of like there was some closure to the situation, at least on my part. But if I were to write a book, I'm not gonna. I would keep it an eye, like they mention in support groups. Um, like I wasn't close to Uncle Leroy, nor was I close to Tommy. In fact, um, um, when that happened in 2011, um, the fact of the matter is I only met him once, and that was um, a few days after 9/11. There was a event at Yankee Stadium. It was like a prayer for America, and I've met his son on more than one occasion. I think he's like a year younger than me, and it's funny how, like, I remember that year 2001, I was going through a difficult time um, with, doctors, psychiatrists, trying to balance medications. They didn't know I was bipolar at first, but they just put me on this cocktail where I didn't know my ass from a hole in the ground, and it was just like when I first heard, like I was in sixth period English, when I first heard a plane hit the World Trade Center, the first thought that hit my head was like, what else could happen, because everything pretty much was falling apart for me at that point. I wasn't going to school. Um, that was just the tip of the iceberg. I was hospitalized. Um, and then like this whole, there's a lot more to that story, but like like my grandmother, she's always I don't even know how old she is, my aunt Elsa, but all I could say is that after that happened, like, not to say that like she aged, but I never saw her like in that light where, if anyone were to lose like a family member, be it a son, a husband, um, someone that they like cared and nurtured, it's gonna have that toll, And I mean, one positive thing I could say is that it definitely brought the family a little closer together. Um, for the time being. Um, Now it's kind of weird because I remember I was 17. Um, what's weird is I take a look at like I have a cousin, Laurel, and I have another cousin, second cousin, Maury, and they were actually born in 2001. And you look at them now, they're like 12, going on 13, and it's like, wow. I mean, they were just like babies when that happened. So it's just, I remember going to my school. I forgot the last time I went up to purchase, and I ran into a teacher, and one comment I made was like, these kids like they look a lot younger than I remember, and he said something that kind of was true. It's just he said, um, like, they're not getting younger, you're just getting older. In fact, I have a friend who teaches sixth grade science, and I remember I was around like Liberty Avenue. I was by the Rockaway Boulevard A train station. Um, by Obviously it's on Rockaway Boulevard, but it was around that time where kids kind of get out of school, and anytime I'm in a bus and there's like rowdy kids in the back, it just, like, me personally, high school was I remember someone described it as like the worst 4 years of anyone's life. Sometimes I would look at um, like celebrities reflect upon the high school experience, and they were like, "Oh, like high school for me was a walk in the park, and I was like the prom queen, and like it was the highlight of my adolescence." Whereas I didn't even go to my fucking prom. I ended up working that night at Boston Market, and I eventually got fired a couple of, like, maybe 2 weeks later. Um, it's funny because they wanted $75, but from what I heard, I could have snuck in. But yeah, going back to adolescence, you couldn't pay me to teach like sixth grade science, 12th grade science. I remember I had a therapist. He chose to working in junior high school because he couldn't really deal with kids who were like practically adults. Um, some people can. Um, it's just, I mean, God bless him. I remember like my cousin, my mom informed me that he's working 3 different jobs. I know he's helped coaching the football team in his old high school, and he's also doing substitute teaching. And I guess maybe it depends on state to state, but if you have like a college degree, then you can go about taking whatever tests you need to take or jumping through whatever hoops you have to jump through to be a substitute teacher and like babysit like babysit kids or teenagers. And I don't know, considering that like my finances is, I'm not like trying to pay for a house, I'm not trying to pay for a boat yet, nor a van or car insurance. um, I'm still trying to set my goals, and currently, like I mentioned on the last video, my goal now is to, well, in fact, I didn't even ask my brother. In fact, I have a minute. Jason! Jason!
Yeah.
You want to go to Mexico with me?
Paying for my flight?
No, I'm not, like, planning to do some peyote in the desert.
What you mean?
No. I went to a meeting with Dad.
What?
Peyote.
What is peyote?
Similar to mushrooms. It's like that.
Well, Chris, man, use some of that money you putting on drugs and help mom around the house, man.
No, I mean, like, you can, it's like, you go into the south, you go to the mushroom fields, and the cow fields, it's free.
Yeah, I'm not doing no more mushrooms, man. I'm trying to stay away from the drugs, man.
Well, I mean, I'm still going to Mexico. Because
for a higher purpose, man.
I figure I'd do that before, because I know I've been to Canada. It's another country. I'm recording a video right now. But,
We can find some higher values to live for, Chris. You know,
oh, did you, see this?
What?
Well, it's probably the first of a few. Considering that it was free,
That's what you do to yourself, man?
oh, well, it's,
You put a girl with a pitchfork on? You know Jesus and you putting devil mark on you, man?
yeah, I was just talking about that.
Yeah. You upset me, Chris.
No, I was thinking about getting the Twin Towers initially, but I wanted a landscape behind it. And, like, it was free, but I had to get, like, a silhouette. So,
You got something from the devil on your body.
no, it's not symbolizing, I mean,
A woman with horns and a pitchfork?
like, this is called, like, a mud flap.
They call it, Chris. You know what it said with a devil flag? All the things you could have got. You could have got something satanically, but you're going to get something satanically related in your body. Excuses for yourself. Not to believe that.
I mean, sometimes, like, people, they take an image and they can, like, like,
That's some good, man. You disappoint the family, man.
like how people try to, like, pinpoint Illuminati symbols and, like, our 9/11 symbology, and, like, for example, that song Hotel California, how people, like, pick pieces of it and make it sound like it's demonic.
That's only going by the Bible, man.
All I know is that, like, I was looking through a list of silhouettes, and actually there was like 2 choices, and the second one, it was more like the traditional mudflap girl, but with the design, it was going to be a little harder for her to do. But I could show you, but something tells you're not interested.
Not, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, your friends ain't
I don't know. I'll probably like dedicate a chapter in my book to like what this means to me.
Who's gonna want to read your book if you ain't doing nothing with your life?
Um,
Come on, man.
Anybody who takes peyote in the desert can like have some perspective. All right, I'm gonna just end it here.